Hello everyone and welcome to the Starseed Dragon channel. Let me see if I can, well, that's as far out as I can go. Okay, we are doing a tarot review today. The Forest of Enchantment Tarot by Lunaea Weatherstone, illustrated by Meraylah Allwood. And I'm super excited about this. I have been watching this for a long time. Of course, I've already taken off the plastic. So, ooh, look at this book. Oh, we got a string here. Ooh, look at this. How many pages is this book? Ooh, and it's got room for notes. 228 pages. Beautiful. So I will be reading the descriptions from the book as we go through. Oh, look at this deck. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Enough of my nonsense. Let's see. So it is a normal 78 card tarot deck. Yep. And these are the cards. Before I take the wrapper off, let me get my handy dandy measuring tape out. Let's see. Okay, so they are about 5 inches by about 3 inches, or let me flip it over for the centimeters. Let's see, that's what, 12 centimeters, 12 and a half maybe, by about, what is that, 8 centimeters? Let's call it that. It's about an average size deck. Let me just see here. Do the unwrappingness. Yay. Yay, I'm so excited about this deck. Okay, well, let's see. Oh, this is, okay, so this is the Fool. Okay, so there's the cards. Ooh, and this is the back. Ooh, pretty. I'm excited. Let me just get everyone situated here. Let me do a close-up here. Let's see. We can. That might be too close. Yes, okay. Too close. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's get started. Going through all of the descriptions, I am really looking forward to this. Let's see here. We have acknowledgements, introduction, care of your cards, closer look, the forest journey. The forest journey, major arcana. Myriad characters and creatures dwell in the forest, but for most humans in these tales, it is a place you pass through to get somewhere else. You can't see very far ahead in the forest as you can in an open landscape or on the sea. Things may change quickly for good or ill. You may find what you seek, or you may not even know what you seek until you find it. Beautiful. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Okay, so first card. The White Heart. At the edge of the deep forest stands an invitation to enchantment. When you see a pure white deer, you are being called to follow it, and only the foolish would ignore such a beckoning. And yet it takes trust to enter the forest, to explore the unknown and the uncharted. Mysteries await you according to what your soul needs for its journey. There are surprises around every bend in the woodland path, and often there is no path at all. The White Heart opens a portal into the wild, and your own wild heart responds. Step forward through the swirling mist into the realm of apple and oak, and ash and hawthorn, fir and willow, holly and hazel. There may be companions along the way, and adversaries too. The first step into the forest must be taken on your own. The traditional name for this mysterious card that is numbered 0 is the Fool, and it symbolizes the start of a new adventure that is undertaken with a pure and innocent heart. The pun here is intended. Follow your heart / heart. HART/HEART. Meaning at a glance, a new beginning, accepting the invitation, going forward with trust. The journey begins, follow your instincts. A closer look. The trees that are named in the description are shown in the card, clockwise from the left. Each has a magical meaning. Apple, the other world. Oak, endurance. Ash, action. Hawthorn, protection. Fir, perspective. Willow, intuition. Holly, challenge. And hazel, wisdom. Oh my God, that is so beautiful. I love it. Okay, next card. Beautiful cards. These are so gorgeous. I love them. And we're only on the next card, the second card. Okay, number 1, the Enchanter. The Enchanter observes everything and happens in the forest, and then he influences, manipulates it, meddles, and brings elements together to create situations he deems beneficial. He sets things in motion. He can converse with every bird, beast, gnome, ogre, sylph, and elf, though he may pretend to be hard of hearing with the elves. The Enchanter takes a special interest in humans passing through the forest, whatever their purpose. You may ask him for magical help if you get in trouble. Be aware, though, that he may not choose to give the kind of help you hoped for or expected. He has been known to stir things up for those who try to take the safest route. The Enchanter is far-seeing when it comes to adventures that happen in the forest, and what seems inexplicable and troublesome to you may be part of a larger design that only he can see. Still, you can always learn from him, especially when it comes to using your own powers to their fullest. Meaning at a glance, magic, wisdom, force of will and intention, ability to influence and help, power at your command. A closer look. The Enchanter's sleeves are trimmed in otter fur, which is a protective charm often used by wizards. The Enchanter conjured the fur without harming any otters, of course. Fantastic. I love it. Next card. Oh my gosh, these are beautiful cards. Number 2, the Wise Woman. At a place where forest paths diverge stands an ancient apple tree. One side bears the silver apples of the moon, the other the golden apples of the sun. You can pass beneath these boughs to take either the dark path or the light path. There is an allure to both of these paths, with positive and negative aspects to each. Your choice is not obvious. The wise woman sits among the apple roots in this liminal place between possible futures. She won't make decisions for you, but she can help you decide for yourself. Skilled in the old ways, the wise woman works with her guides and spirits to read the auguries, gathering up her oracular charms. She casts them upon the cloth, watching them fall into a pattern she understands. Now she meets your gaze, arching an eyebrow with subtle amusement. Do you really want to know your destiny? Yes, you do. You wouldn't be here if you weren't ready. The Wise Woman card confirms that there is a core of deep knowing within you, but you may need spiritual guidance to assess it, or to access it. Wisdom takes time, devotion, patience, and above all, willingness to accept and commit to the path you choose. The wise woman doesn't argue with oracles, and neither should you. Just read the signs. They are everywhere. Meaning at a glance: wisdom, spirituality, and mysticism, oracular advice, seeing the unseen, lifting the veil. A closer look. The wise woman wears a necklace of amber and jet, which invokes the energies of light and dark, day and night, illumination and mystery. Beautiful. Next card. The Green Mother. Come sit at the feet of the Green Mother and be sheltered by her love. She is the creative source who brings the life energy of the forest to fruition and birth. And she is the nurturer who welcomes newborns with her blessing kiss. She encourages the curiosity of her own precious green child, instilling a sense of wonder at the infinite variety of earthly delights. The little one clings to Mama for now, but grows braver as she learns that nature is her friend. The Green Mother shows us how we are each a part of the natural world, like the trees and the brooks and the cuckoo's song. She teaches us to love ourselves as part of her creation. The Green Mother is the embodiment of feminine power. She represents sexuality, the world of the senses, and unconditional love. She is the essence of fertility. Call upon her when you need an increase in earthly support, a creative push, healing, or comforting care. The Green Mother wants you to remember that what you nourish is what will grow, so pay attention to where you put your energy. Meaning at a glance. Feminine power, unconditional love, nature's bounty, generosity, fertility and motherhood, beauty. A closer look. The Green Mother has wild currants, a symbol of fertility, entwined in her hair. Beautiful. Next card. So gorgeous. The Forest Lord. All who pass through the enchanted forest must pay homage to the Forest Lord, for everything that lives and breathes is under his dominion, from the mightiest giant to the smallest shrew. He is the essence of wild male energy kept under control, most of the time. His is the virile rush of the stag and the immovable stance of the bear. His most trusted companion is the chieftain of all boars, the fiercest creature in the wood. Approach the Forest Lord respectfully, but have no fear. He is the affectionate father as well as the commanding ruler. He is masterful, but never a bully, and he has earned the love and loyalty of those within his care. The Forest Lord represents the duties that come with great power, protecting his subjects, defending their freedom, and safeguarding their sanctuary. Leadership is a privilege. Authority over others must be wielded appropriately and not abused. Sovereignty comes from within and doesn't need to be insisted upon. The Forest Lord's confidence comes from staying true to his noble nature. Meaning at a glance. Power from within, virility, natural leadership, nobility of character, fatherhood, dominion, and territorial command. A closer look. The holly and oak upon his antlers represent the eternal cycle of life renewing itself. Oak rules the light half of the year. Holly rules the dark. That is so fantastic. In the traditional tarot, this is the Emperor, yes. Okay, next card. The Oldest One. Let me just get a drink of my coffee. Isn't this a beautiful card? The Oldest One. The forest is old and full of stories. The hedgehog child, the rabbit's bride, the sleeping princesses, the foolish son, the faithful sister, the poisoned apple. Every travel who passes through adds a story strand to the glittering web of enchantment. The preservation of all these stories is entrusted to the oldest one, memory keeper of the forest. This venerable yew tree has seen 3,000 summers and more. With age comes the ability to see the big picture with calm contemplation and deep-rooted understanding. The oldest one welcomes you and bids you to stay a while. Ask for the story you most need to hear right now. Then add your own tale to the living library of lore. The oldest one reminds us that having a historical perspective is reassuring in times of trouble, and having a mythological or religious perspective helps us to find meaning in our lives. Tales, legends, and lore have been handed down from generation to generation because they are a vital part of our shared humanity. Meaning at a glance. Teaching, traditions, religion, and mythology, wise counsel, true authority, and expertise. A closer look. See the owl? That gives you an idea of how big the oldest one is. Wow. Tiny little owl. This is the Hierophant, right? In traditional tarot. Let's see. Are you two cards stuck together? We'll find out. No, you're not. Okay. The Lovers. On a hot summer's day, with the scent of wild honeysuckle casting its drowsy spell, a pair of lovers rests in the shade. They sing together in a pleasing harmony. Under the greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me, and tune his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Their song ends with soft laughter, the sweet sound of untroubled joy. These forest dwellers are outlaws from society who have chosen a life together to fulfill a common destiny. Theirs is a love out of legend, enduring, encompassing, and eternal. Come what may, the lovers face their challenges side by side, as equals. Both wear archery braces on their wrists, and their bows stand close at hand. But in this moment there is only peace, and all the world is in each other's eyes. This card is not about trifling romance. The lovers represent true partnership and the life choices and sacrifices that come with commitments. Though the lovers shown here are man and woman, soulmates find each other in every gender combination. Meaning at a glance. Love and passion, life choices, soulmates, belief in love's destiny. A closer look. The song of the lovers are singing is from Shakespeare's As You Like It, Act 2, Scene 5. Honeysuckle symbolizes devoted love and affection, as do the two turtle doves. Gorgeous. Okay. Next card. Oh my gosh, these are beautiful cards. The Fairy Wind. The quiet mood of the forest shifts subtly at first, and then with increasing tension, like the breathless hush before a storm. You hear a rushing sound in the distance, growing louder as it approaches. It is the sound of treetops dancing in a wind that comes closer and closer until it is upon you, lifting your hair and cooling your cheeks. You are surrounded by a sudden fragrance of bluebells and moss and honey. This is no ordinary breeze. It betokens the wild flight of the fae. They flash into your view, imperious, haughty, beautiful beyond words. Your heart yearns after them with a sharp urgency to go where they go and see what they can see. but never attempt to chase them. Trust me, it will not turn out well. The fairies follow their own path, and you must follow yours. The fairy wind is a powerful sign of ultimate success. Only the most fortunate see the fae, though many have felt their passing. Things will pick up speed for you now, and your endeavors will flow swiftly toward a positive outcome. Continue forward with increased confidence. Meaning at a glance: speed, change, important news, success, self-governance, independent achievements. A closer look. Legends tell of people who were swept up by the fairy wind and deposited miles away. If this happens to you, don't be in a rush to return. Excellent. I love it. Okay, next card. Strength. Look at that beautiful wolf. Once upon a time, a young girl walked into the vast and fearsome forest. She went of her own volition, and she wore a crimson cloak that made her easily visible to any creature that might observe her progress through the dark woods. And indeed, once upon a time, a great wolf was watching her. You may think you know the rest of this story: deception, violence, vengeance. That tale is meant to warn children not to go into the woods, or seek adventure, or trust a wolf. Once upon a time, two mighty hearts found the strength to change the story. The wolf refused to harm or betray the maiden. She refused to hate or fear the wolf. Nor did she tame him. She loved him for his wild self. She found a home in the forest and grew old there, the magical wolf always at her side. Strength is being firmly grounded in who you are, having courage for the task given you, and knowing the source of that courage. Rather than letting circumstances defeat you, reach within yourself and draw forth the strength to make changes, face challenges, and move forward courageously. You don't do this by brute force, but through love. Strength comes from trusting your heart. That is the truest thing I've ever read. Meaning at a glance: self-knowledge, courage and fortitude, reserves of inner strength, bonds of loyalty and love. A closer look. The plants in this card are all symbolic of gentle strength, love, calm, and purity. Oak, wild pear blossom, white violets, stitchwort, and wild roses. Gorgeous. I love it. That is officially my favorite card so far. Okay. Next card. Let me make sure you're still in the view. Yes, you are. Okay. My pages are sticking together. Okay. The Hermit. Aw. Though badgers are by nature sociable creatures, there are some who prefer to dwell alone. They are the scholars and philosophers of the forest, both occupations that require deep digging. It takes time and solitude to acquire real understanding. The hermit's visitors are rare, and he has arranged his chamber for his own comfort. One chair, one glass for his nightly port, a small fire for warmth and contemplation. He can be sought out for guidance if he's in the right mood, but he does not impose his advice unasked. Nor does he have patience with flibbertigabits. Flibbertigabits. If you have a curious mind and sincerely want to learn, you will find the path to his door. When you are ready to go below the surface of things, the door will open. The hermit has chosen to live in solitude to avoid daily distractions. He is a monotasker, giving his full attention to each of his many pursuits in turn. His advice to you is to do the same. Make the time and take the space to enjoy your own company without interruption. Take control of your interactions with others. Don't let them badger you. Meaning at a glance: solitude, a preference for home over society. Study, perspective, a time of deepening. A closer look. The armillary sphere was a gift from the Enchanter, who has a similar one and noticed his reclusive friend admiring on his rare visits. Beautiful. Next card, the Enchanters Wheel. Okay, I need to take a sip of my coffee. Okay. At the center of the forest, suspended between oak and holly, is a magical wheel woven by the enchanter himself. Suspended upon it are tokens of life and death, healing and poison, mystery and wisdom, time and timelessness. Every part of this spell-weaving contributes to its power, just as all the experiences of our lives make up the whole. To set the wheel's enchantment in motion, speak these words: Yarrow, Skullcap, Foxglove, Argrimony, Verivane. The spell is sealed by magpie magic. 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, egg, bone, claw, skull, and feather. Was the wheel made to confound, confront, confuse? Who knows? Wizards don't explain themselves. That's true. The Enchanter's Wheel is the great unknown, the things we can't control or comprehend. They are what they are. Life must be engaged in all its complexity if any meaning is to be found in the journey. Very few boons come without their attending challenges, and vice versa. Sometimes there is only one magpie, but another will come in the proper time, changing your sorrow to joy. Interesting. Meaning at a glance: the inevitability of change, greater mysteries, fate and fortune, good luck and bad luck. A closer look: this center star is formed of plants that have healing, magical, and poisonous properties. Yarrow, magical protection. Skullcap, sleep and trance. Argrimony, fairy medicine. Foxglove, heart healer and poison. And Verivane, antidote to poison. 7 magpies are present, whether egg, feather, skull, or bird. Interesting. Very interesting. What a beautiful card. I love these. Okay. The Huntsman. A mighty huntsman stands with his bow and arrow at the ready, his hunting horn at his belt. Close beside him are a doe and her fawn, closer than deer would normally approach a man. But the huntsman is not a mortal man. He is the embodiment of nature's justice. He defends the well-being of the forest and its creatures by protecting the vulnerable. The huntsman appears when something has upset the natural order of things. He can be called upon for help in a righteous and just cause, and he will tolerate neither deception nor deceit. What are your motives? Is your word to be trusted? He is assessing you, not condemning you, yet. The law protects the innocent. Those who invoke the law must come from a place of righteousness and truth. Encountering the huntsman signifies that the balance of justice is in play, and you must be careful to obey the laws of nature and of humanity. Listen to your conscience as embodied by the huntsman and do the right thing. Meaning at a glance: justice, integrity, and fair dealings, legal and ethical matters, truth and honor, giving and receiving respect. A closer look. The huntsman's horn is blown to call the wild hunt that rides through the forest on May Eve and All Hallows Eve. It is also blown as a lament at the death of an innocent. So next card. Suspension. In an ancient pine in a remote part of the forest, a sorcerer hangs suspended in amber. Though his body is caught in stasis, he is alive, and his consciousness roams freely through many worlds. In his prescience, the sorcerer foresaw that deeper wisdom would be needed if he was to help the world in hard times to come. The normal passage of time was too swift for him to learn all he wished to learn, so he created a pocket of timelessness in the heart of the pine and stepped into it of his own volition. As the enchanted sap flowed warmly around his mortal form, the sorcerer felt himself rotating, released from gravity's grip. When the amber had solidified, the sorcerer was head downward like an infant in the womb. In the proper time, he will release himself from this chamber of deepening and emerge reborn. Suspension signifies a time of surrender to a higher purpose. There are times for action, and there are times when it is best to stay still and deepen in wisdom. Your soul is ready for its next stage of growth. This may involve a sacrifice of worldly ambitions or well-laid plans. Meaning at a glance. Initiation, a new point of view, surrender, mystical messages, a retreat from daily life, heeding an inner call. A closer look. The dragonfly is a symbol of change and self-realization. The presence of a dragonfly in the sorcerer's amber cocoon is an affirmation that he is on the right track in his pursuit of wisdom. Beautiful. Next card. Black Shuck. Of the otherworldly beings that dwell in the woods, few are as fearsome as Black Shuck, for he is a portent of death. Is your heart beating a little faster now? He is one of these spectral hounds who roam the earth, haunting the bleakest moors and the darkest forests. You may have heard him clawing and whining at your very door. Now he meets you among the gravestones, illuminated by lightning flashes. Don't worry, he won't harm you. Black Shuck comes not to take your life, but as a memento mori, a reminder that death awaits you and life is not to be wasted. Look into his fiery eyes. Let him know you understand his message. If you have the courage, extend a cautious hand and feel his cold breath. He knows your scent, and he will find you again. Sooner or later, Black Shuck comes for us all. When Black Shuck appears, take it as a sign that you need to prioritize what is important to you and release what no longer serves you. The card rarely means a physical death, but don't run away from that interpretation either. Sit with it for a while. All things pass in their proper time, and making friends with Black Shuck will lessen unwarranted fears. Meaning at a glance. The knowledge that time is finite, change, evolution, release of the old to make way for the new, making peace with an ending. A closer look. As you stand in the misty graveyard, you can make out some of the designs on the weathered old stones. What would you want on your own? Interesting. Next card. The Forge. In a wide clearing stands an ancient forge where magical swords are made. Dwarves have been dedicated to this task for as long as dwarf memory goes back, and that is a very long time indeed. All the elements are needed to summon the soul of a sword. Earth, fire, air, water. The raw materials from the earth are activated and transformed by fire, which is kept alive by air. The fiery metals are cooled by pure water from a nearby spring. This process tempers the blades and strengthens them. The swords are worked and shaped upon the anvil, then heated again and cooled again. When these master craftsmen are satisfied with each blade's balance and strength, the gleaming swords and their hilts are finished with jewels and mystic runes. This is the dwarves' vocation in the highest sense, a spiritual and magical task as well as a practical one. The forge represents the blending of elements to achieve balance. Time spent in fire must be balanced by time in water, metaphorically speaking. The blade is stressed by the flames, then blessed by the living water. Combining stressing and blessing results in strength. Meaning at a glance: balance, temperance, moderation, alchemy, elemental harmony, strength that comes from enduring suffering. A closer look. The swirling magic around the dwarves contains tiny symbols for the elements. Beautiful. Okay, and our next card, the Liar. Are we still in there? Yeah, we're still in there. Okay. The Liar beckons you, coaxes you closer. His voice is mellifluous, throaty, sensual. The voice you always wanted to hear, telling you what you always wanted to believe. He promises delicious secrets, things he has never shared with another living soul, but you are special. You are the one he's waited for, the worthy one, his chosen one. Come closer. It's safe to leave the path, truly. It's only a little way off the path, a mere nothing. You can always run back if you wish. He won't stop you. There is nothing to fear. His staff is just a walking stick, not a serpent. There is no rat peering from his hair. Your own eyes deceive you. Come closer. The Liar represents danger, bondage, addiction, a separation of spirit or soul from human dealings. He is a mesmerist who can easily lull victims into believing his lies if they are not on, if they are not on their guard. He knows everything you want, and if one approach doesn't work, he will quickly try another. You must choose to escape, for he will never let you go of his own accord. Meaning at a glance: bondage to what is harmful, separation of mind and heart, soullessness, manipulation, addictions. A closer look. The Liar's bird, a magpie, is bringing him some gold. There are magpies and magpie feathers in other cards. Can you find them? Ooh, interesting. Now I have to go and look at all the cards, right? Again. This is a delicious deck, I must admit. Okay, the Folly. Long ago, a wealthy man riding through the forest came upon the tallest and most magnificent tree he had ever seen. Feeling entitled to whatever caught his fancy,
He claimed it for his own. Not content with nature's perfection, he commanded that the tree be hollowed out and carved into an elaborate folly. In his arrogance and ignorance, he refused to listen to the woodsman's warnings that the towering treetop was too slender to bear the strain. Fearing for their employment, the woodsman obeyed the cruel orders, though it tore at their hearts to do it. At first, the rich man and his rich friends were amused by the folly's eccentric appearance in the solemn forest, but they soon lost interest and abandoned it. In time, the tree, dying from the inside out, cracked and the folly fell into ruin. A dead zone radiates from its roots, and no creature comes near, except for a great flock of rooks that spirals up at dusk, harshly crying out their anger and their grief. The folly signifies the ending of indulgent and worthless vanities. This does not always feel good. Most radical changes disrupt one's equilibrium for a time. Step back and look at what you've made and how it serves you. What folly needs to be destroyed so that the true and the beautiful can return? Meaning at a glance. Destruction, ending the old to make way for the new. A bad idea reaches its inevitable conclusion. A closer look. A collective noun for a group of rooks is building. A building of rooks. What are these rooks building from the ruins? Interesting. Next card. Okay. Here we are. Starlight. Isn't this beautiful? If you walk quietly through the forest on a clear and moonless night, you may hear singing high above, where the tree tops open to the vastness of the sky. There are groves of beech and linden that are much beloved by the woodland elves, who call them Elarina, crowned with stars. Close your eyes and listen to their ethereal voices. They sing of ages past, with laments for the fallen and exaltations of the illustrious. They sing of the patterns of destiny they perceive from the vantage point of immortality. They sing of the stars themselves, whose light still reaches us long after their lives are extinguished. The elves sing of hope. Troubles and tyrants come and go, but the stars shine ever on. Starlight comes to reassure you that everything happens for a reason, even if you can't perceive it now. Time and distance will bring the pattern to light. For now, breathe in the beauty of this moment and pour out your song upon the evening air. Meaning at a glance. Undying hope, immortality, spiritual connection to the cosmos, destiny, cosmic connection, eternal mysteries. A closer look. Beech and linden trees are calming, peaceful, and strong. The beech is known as the queen of trees. Beautiful. Next card. Moonlight. Isn't that pretty? Who dares go into the forest when the moon is full? Who would follow the luminous paths to the gazing pool? The forest is a different place by moonlight. What is familiar by day becomes illusory when the moon is full. The sounds of the night are eerie, haunting, filling you with nameless longing. Moonbeams sift down through the branches, silvering the sylvan glade. Hares go mad in the moonlight. Wild with lunatic ecstasy, they dance and leap, then suddenly stand motionless, frozen, bewitched. They return to themselves when the dawn breaks, most of the time. It is said that those who sleep in the moonlight either go mad or become poets. The poet Byron wrote, "There is a dangerous silence in that hour, a stillness which leaves room for the full soul to open all itself without the power of calling wholly back its self-control." Perhaps our lives are but a dream and are all as mad as moon hares. Even the most pragmatic cannot deny the magic of the night. When moonlight shines upon your reading, take it as a sign to let intuition rule over logic for a time. Pay attention to your dreams, which may be full of portents. Spend time outside in the dark with no intention other than to be open to the mystery. Meaning at a glance. Secrecy and mystery, the dream world, intuition, something is hidden from view. A closer look. How many hairs do you see in this card? See, I see 3, 4, 5. I see 5 right away. How many? Oh, there's a 6th one. Ooh. They're everywhere. 7. I see 7. Okay, that's enough. We're moving along. You might want to pause it and count how many hairs you see. Let me know in the comments below. Okay, next card. Sunlight. Isn't this a pretty card? The piper comes to the gates of dawn. The new day awakes. The hush of night is broken by songbird. First one tender note, then another, then the whole chorus of joy. Flowers open their eyes, dew-damp ferns unfurl. The melody the piper plays is a paean to life. Paean to life, both temporal and eternal. Can you hear it? Does your soul stir in response to its call? Oh, the goodness that is in the world, the beauty, the grace, the love. This is the light that breaks through illusion. This is the force that initiates, sustains, empowers. Life-giving sunlight always finds its way through even the most tangled and forbidding of forests. The sunlight blesses your reading. Be ready to receive good fortune. This is the most positive card in the whole tarot, assuring you that all will be well. Challenges will be overcome, bright visions will come to pass, spells will succeed, and boons of all kinds are yours for the taking. Remember to be grateful. Meaning at a glance. Happiness, well-being, growth, the warm glow of life. Things are better than you know. A closer look. Thrush and blackbird are singing the morning chorus. Primroses and celandines symbolize the springtime sun. Interesting. Next card. The Council of Animals. A journey through the forest can have profound meaning or be utterly meaningless, depending on what you bring to it. Intentions count as much as actions. Devious successes are far worse than errors made in innocence. The Council of Animals convenes at fateful turning points to evaluate the traveler's progress and rule in judgment for the future. Each council animal has its own unique wisdom, insight, and perspective. Each is authentically itself, and it expects you to be too. Don't ever think that you can fool the council or yourself. It is time for a reckoning. When you are called before the Council of Animals, it is a sign that you are ready to face some tough truths. Epiphanies are possible. You may begin to see a new purpose for your life. At the very least, you will come to know yourself better, toady warts and all. For more help from the council, see the spread on page 206. We will. Meaning at a glance. Judgment, assessment, self-awareness, forgiveness, atonement, enlightenment. A closer look. There are 12 animals on the council, and they change every 12th moon to allow for different points of view. When fish are on the council, the meetings take place at the sacred lake. Interesting. Let me just flip over to page 206. Okay, so 206 is, let me just pull this back a little bit so I could put this in here a little bit. So here we go, the Council of Animals. This is a large reading that requires some time. Looks like 12 cards. It's a good one for milestones such as birthdays or the new year, but it can be done anytime you are reading to ask yourself the hard questions or when you're ready to have the council animals ask you. Take the Council of the Animals card from your deck and prop it up on your table. Then lay out 12 cards as shown, one for each of the 12 council animals, okay? Consider each question carefully before you answer. You might want to write your answers in your journal or record them and listen again later. This reading can also be done in a group. Write the numbers 1 through 12 on slips of paper. Then take turns drawing them and answering the questions. You can do this alone if you just want advice from 1 or 2 animals, not the whole council. The traditional name for the Council of the Animals card is Judgment, and that has a negative connotation in our modern society. But the council always has your best interests at heart, so step forward and consider truthfully. Nice. So they've got their own little spreads here. Let me just get closer before I mess that up. Okay. There we go. Okay. Can you see the whole card? Okay. So here we go. Next card. The Wild World. Or the Wide World. And here you are, back at the portal. The lessons of the forest and all your experiences therein have brought you to this place. The White Heart is here, reminding you that enchantment doesn't end at the woodland's edge. In the forest, you can only see a little way ahead of you. In the wide world, you can see much further. The sweet open meadows, the misty hills, the twisting roads, the vast sky, and the cloud castles. Other forests await with fresh visions and new challenges, stronger spells, and greater boons. As a wayfaring animal said once upon a time, reported by Mr. Kenneth Graham in The Wind in the Willows, take the adventure, heed the call, now ere the irrevocable moment passes. 'Tis but a banging of the door behind you, the blithesome step forward, and you are out of the old life and into the new. One cycle ends and the next begins. This is a positive card, not a disruptive ending as with the Folly card. This is a card of destiny, following the Council of Animals. there where you assessed your progress and aligned it with your greater purposes in life. You've done what you need to do, even if you are not completely cognizant of it yet. It is time to look toward new horizons. Meaning at a glance. Completion, wholeness, seeing the big picture, connection to the world. A closer look. There is a sacred Tor not too far away. Go there first and walk the spiral path to the standing stones. From there, you can look back on your forest journey. Beautiful. So I think I'm going to separate this video because it has been quite some time. So we're going to go to the minor arcana in another video. So it says Forest Tale, and we just make this go back up again. Forest Tales, minor arcana. Take the adventure, heed the call, now ere the irrevocable moment passes. 'Tis but a banging of the door behind you, a blithesome step forward, and you are out of the old life and into the new. Kenneth Grahame. So we will start with the minor arcana in the next video, and it's going to go over aces, it looks like. Aces. And then we'll do twos. Oh, okay. Well, we're just going to split this in two then, aren't we? Okay, well, I'll see you in the next video. I hope that you are enjoying this as much as I am. Again, this is the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. And if you would like to get yourself a copy, I do have an affiliate link in the description box below that'll take you right to where I purchased this one. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.